south of Dublin. His family was descended from Huguenots, the Protestants who were forced to flee Catholic persecution in France during the late 18th century. But the Becketts had long since lost any awareness of themselves as anything other than Irish. The family was part of the prosperous Protestant minority in Ireland, which at the time was still part of Great Britain. There is little evidence of creative inclination among Beckett's predecessors, with the possible exception of his paternal grandmother Fanny, whose unfulfilled sensitivity drove her to drink. According to family mythology, she would lock herself in her room for days on end. At other times, she sported a parrot on her shoulder, which would screech with jealous rage when anyone kissed Fanny. William Beckett, the writer's father, was a jovial Philistine who made a considerable fortune as a building contractor and property speculator. Beckett retained affectionate memories of his father, with whom he would go on long walks over the barren, treeless countryside of the nearby Wicklow Mountains. But the dominant parent in Beckett's life was his mother, May, a tall, long-faced, difficult woman descended from an impecunious landowning family. All who met her agree that there was something odd about her, something that didn't quite fit in with the role of conventional suburban life. She suffered from insomnia, and had the carpets removed from the upstairs floors so that she could hear the footfall of any approaching ghost. Despite this, there was little overtly eccentric about her apart from her willfulness. This appears to have met its match in her second son, Samuel. Beckett's older brother Frank took after his father, but it soon became clear that Sam was psychologically much more complex, a condition he appeared to find as irksome as everyone else. As a result, he was a solitary child, both by circumstance and inclination. Surprisingly, the reserved young Beckett did well at school, being both intellectually gifted and accomplished at sports, despite his bad eyesight. From an early age he had been forced to wear round, steel-rimmed spectacles, which he would continue to wear all his life. In 1920, at the age of 14, he became a boarder at Portora Royal School, a Protestant private school in the province of Ulster, which was to become Northern Ireland. In 1922, Ireland gained independence, with Northern Ireland electing to remain part of Britain. There followed a civil war in the Irish Free State between the two Catholic factions. The schoolboy Beckett would have been largely insulated from all this, but would certainly have been aware of the upheavals that were taking place. It is difficult to judge the precise effect of this traumatic historical background. It would certainly leave a profound mark upon his Protestant Irish contemporary, the painter Francis Bacon. The newly independent Ireland was a troubled, desperately poor country, heavily dominated by the Catholic Church, which forbade contraception. As a result, large families contributed further to the poverty of the majority Catholic population. Out of ambition or necessity, many emigrated to Britain and America, leaving saddened, abandoned families behind. Although Beckett never lived in poverty in his homeland, the hopeless, downtrodden characters who inhabit much of his later fiction would have been recognizable on any street in Dublin, even if the background Beckett gave them was often more reminiscent of the Wicklow Mountains. Beckett's unaccommodated man may have had a distant literary ancestor in the poor, bare, forked animal seen by Shakespeare's King Lear on the blasted heath. But the characters in Beckett's work also mirrored real people, whose hopeless temperament and grim humour had been forged by real despair. At the age of 17, Beckett went to Trinity College, Dublin, where he studied modern languages, English, French, and Italian. Here he quickly acquired the seemingly obligatory penchant for vast quantities of Guinness and an equally unquenchable thirst for literature and philosophy. In his final fourth year, he won a place on the university cricket team, which went on a short summer tour playing against English counties. These matches are recorded in Wisden, the cricketer's Bible, making him the only Nobel Prize winner to appear in its august pages. In his final exams, Beckett won the gold medal as the top scholar. He emerged from university an awkward young man who, in that scornful but telling Dublin phrase, was educated beyond his intelligence. Like his philosophical hero Descartes, he found it difficult to rise from his bed before noon. This made him particularly unsuited to the employment he now gained as a schoolmaster at Campbell College, Belfast, a middle-class